Bike Inside Trados Delivery Lessons learned by Anna Maria Svoboda, Betania Becerra, Eckhard Kenneth Barklind, and Julia Bertoli. Hi, I would like to share with you my experiences with SDL, multi-term, and term bases during the Trados Delivery project. SDL multi-term is a separate program from SDL Trados. You can access and open all your previously created Trados term bases here. On the left side, you can see all the terms added. On the right side, if you click on the History button, you can see the author or the modifications made on the term. You can even see information such as how many entries were added into this term base, and how many entries were actual words, and how many entries were, yes, multimedia objects. But wait a minute, something is wrong with this term base. Why? Because it only has one language. Although we have the English term here and underneath is the Hungarian, Trados treated them as synonyms rather than mapped items during the translation process. How is it possible? So when I go back to the original setup, I see that that was the problem indeed. English was not mapped together with the other languages for some reason. Although I cannot fix that, I went ahead and I created a new term base. I disabled the incorrect term base and I created a new term base. And this time I wanted to experiment and I included all the 4 languages we needed: German, Hungarian, Italian, Portuguese, and English as a source within one term base. And you can see the mapping is correct this time. If I simulate the translation process and I try to add a new term, it looks good. Here is the English section and here is the Hungarian section. And remember, because this is a multi-language term base, you can actually add a new term under a different language if you wanted to. So let's go back to SDL multi-term and test this term base, see what happens. You can see that under the languages, we have all the 5 languages that I included into this term base. And here it is. It looks good. Here is the Hungarian section this time, and here is the English section. And I can add, modify, or delete any terms within these languages, within the 5 languages that I included this term base.
Hi, my name is Eckhard Barklind, and I was the German translator for the Bike Inside team. I found several of the tasks to generate our deliverables went fairly well, like generating a pseudo-translation and saving it as a separate document for delivery, translating the editor window and having the bolding carry through to the target, generating the final translation and translation memory in the finalized process, then repackaging everything into the return package. The main issue we had as a team was with the term base and its connection to Trados. We discussed our term base options at the beginning, but did not set up a multilingual term base because we weren't sure at the time how each could access or how 4 local term base instances would be merged together upon completion. So instead we set up 4 separate term bases so each could develop his own glossary. However, when translating the edit window, the add and search functionality was shown as disabled in the term base viewer. In the project settings window, I could confirm that the term bases had been added, that the English-German was enabled and set as the default. But although it was listed, the language mapping was incomplete, and as you can see, the English, no term base selected yet. So I checked in multi-term, my local instance, to confirm the state of the English-German term base, and there I noticed that both target and source were set to German. This was true for the other languages also. In an attempt to fix things locally, I created my own English-German term base, writing multi-term, making sure that both languages were added. I added some terms and tried connecting again from Trados, but still no connection. The issue had come up for everyone in the group, but could not be solved while still maintaining the separate term bases. After my attempts, I can offer one additional caveat to Anna Maria's analysis of our main project glitch. That is, creating a term base locally for your language pair and multi-term will not fix the connection problem with Trados.
Hi, my name's Julia. I did the English to Italian translation for Bike Inside. I wanted to talk about my experience with the translation memory. I love that this project was a great simulation of what a group or how a team would translate work. I did have some issues trying to align documents into the translation memory for the package that I received from my, company, from the team. Um, but eventually I was just able to import everything into the package directly. But I think what I did was created a separate translation memory and kind of just moved that into the package TM. Then the pseudo translation was very tricky for me. I couldn't figure out where to create it, and I had some issues when I did end up running the pseudo translation. It would end up just taking over the main document of the project, and then I wasn't able to translate it in directly. So what I ended up doing was copying the document within the package and then creating um, the two separately. So I did start over, run the pseudo translation first, and then I ended up doing my translation. Some other things, I like that the program was able to bold, and keep that consistency with the translation. Although there were just some things, Bike Inside, even though I had um, chosen to ignore these, underlined mistakes. And then there were just some words, like right here, microfiber, and I even had referenced the dictionary. And there's just a few words that it was picking up as a mistake, but they were actually correct.
Hi, I'm Betania. I'm from the Bike Inside Translation group, and I'm presenting on the challenges that I had while working in this project. The first challenge we had was after performing the pseudo translation, I wanted to move on to the next step and do an actual translation from English to Brazilian Portuguese. So I clicked around in the UI to see how can I do that the easiest way. I tried the menu on batches and I tried to pre-translate the files. So I looked at the settings and I followed the instructions. I selected override existing translation if better match found, confirm 100% matches, and as well confirm context matches and leave target segment empty if no better match was found. So after clicking finish, what happened was nothing happened. So I still had the pseudo translation, which was pretty good, I guess. I was able to see all the accents and they were all correct. Everything looked good. However, it was no use. I tried a different way. I right-clicked the mouse on top of the translation to also see if I could do something different, but I was not able to find a better way to do it. So unfortunately I had to do the hard way, which was to highlight and delete segment by segment, which was okay since this is a 200 words project, but if it were a bigger project it would be a little bit trickier, to say the least. So the second thing that happened was when I received the package from our project mentor that helped putting it together, although she had sent us screenshots with the package and I could see that she did attach a term base and a translation memory, when I opened the package I was not able to see them. I could only see the file to be translated and nothing else. So I clicked on the settings to find out what was happening, and after finding the term base I looked and I saw that there is no term base selected for English or Portuguese. So the first thing I did was to create a Bike Inside translation memory and term base. and add Brazilian Portuguese and English as well. So here I have the blank document after I deleted all the pseudo translation. And here's the document again translated. So after I performed translation, I wanted to add terms to the term base. So on the left side I have the source language English, and I highlighted the term cycling jerseys, and I highlighted the corresponding term on the right side, which is camisas de ciclismo, and I right-clicked add term to term base. Next thing I see in the term base viewer was that, well, first of all, the flag was not correct. It was supposed to have a Brazilian Portuguese flag, and we had an European Portuguese flag. Although the languages are very similar, they're not the same, and it should not be set up that way. And the second thing that I noticed was that the word that I selected, camisas de ciclismo, did not have a corresponding match in English, only in Portuguese. So that meant that I set up it wrong. So I should have set up on the other slide English or Portuguese and Portuguese and English, and not side by side. So that was my mistake, and I had to go back and fix it. So I noticed also another words, cansaço muscular and muscle fatigue, also did not get a corresponding match in English. However, some words did get a corresponding match in English, and that was before I fixed it. So it was really unclear to me two things. First of all, why there's no corresponding match, even though I highlighted both terms, and the second thing, it was the flag. So I was not able to understand why there was a wrong flag, even though the correct one was selected. And that was the end of our presentation. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that we did not bore you too much. Thank you.